Hi, I'm Chike Coleman, that's Chuck Koplinski, and we're back for another week of talking about movies. This is Real Reviews Cinematic Underground. And this week, I know it's been a long time since we've had a show, Chuck. About 3 to 4 weeks, basically.
Has it been that long?
It feels like it. I mean, we've had the whole snow blizzard thing going on, so.
Yeah, we had some holidays.
Some holiday things going on. So it's been about 3 weeks, maybe 4. This week we're going to talk about 3 movies, but the first of those movies is going to be the latest from Martin Scorsese, and that is The Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a man named Jordan Belfort, which, as they always say, is based on a true story about Wall Street. I won't call him a stockbroker. Is he a stockbroker, really?
Well, I think that you have to say that he starts that way, and then he sets up a brokerage firm. So he owns a stock brokerage firm, and the people that work for him are stockbrokers.
Right. So he owns a stock brokerage firm, and this is basically the tale of his rise and fall. And boy, does he fall far. There are lots of things that I like about Wolf of Wall Street. It's just one of those things that basically, for me, it's excess to the maximum. It really, really is. Like, you see Jordan Belfort, basically breaking into this market of penny stocks, which was introduced to him by another director we're going to be talking about today, Spike Jonze, in a small cameo role. And I love the level of excess that Jordan Belfort parties in. There's just no way to really describe it other than that without giving things away.
I'd say it would be like a modern Caligula.
Well, you could go that route, I suppose. I mean, there is a lot of sex that goes on and a lot of drug usage that goes on. So I'll say that this one is definitely not for the kiddies. You would not be able to survive having them in the theater watching this.
Well, they were flirting with an NC-17 rating for this.
They really were.
Well, no, they got it. They had to cut some things back.
Okay.
Yeah, it is that excessive.
I will say that the one really biggest shock and surprise for me in this film has to be, I'm really torn. Margot Robbie, who is an Australian actress who plays Leonardo DiCaprio's second wife, is really good in this film. She's also extremely attractive. It's like if you mixed Emma Stone with the voice of Fran Drescher, but like slightly less annoying Fran Drescher. And I really, really loved her performance because she took it beyond the whole typical housewife role that you've seen in so many other movies related to basically illegal success. What did you think of the film, Chuck?
I liked it a lot, but it was very familiar to me. As I was watching the movie, I couldn't help but draw a lot of correlations between this and Scarface. Instead of violence being the watchword as it is in Scarface, it's sex, as you say. But both stories are about guys who get too much too quickly. They live to the excess, and of course the downfall is there. I think because the story was familiar to me, and because it starts to get a bit repetitious towards the end, the movie felt long. I mean, it is 3 hours.
But it goes by fast, though.
It does, but it could have been shorter, I think.
I don't disagree at all.
I would say the last half hour, 40 minutes, I'm like... I guess also because we know where it's headed.
Yeah.
There really are no surprises along the way. I was surprised at how funny it is. I mean, you can't help but laugh at some of these things that these idiots do.
Right.
And I think we need to mention Jonah Hill.
Oh, yeah. Jonah Hill
does a great job as his right-hand man as far as the excess he goes through. And he's not too bright as far as common sense is concerned.
Pretty much, no.
Has a very stupid scene, which leads him, but more than him, his cohort to a jail sentence because his pride was hurt. I guess the question I would have for you is this film has gotten a bit of controversy as far as its portrayal of Belfort and the punishment that he got as far as the film not doing a very good job of condemning him or his lifestyle, and just didn't know what you thought of that.
So are you asking me, is that a problem for me?
No, I'm wondering if you think that this is a legitimate complaint, or do you think that the film does endorse this or not?
I would say that it does endorse the partying and the sex and the drugs, but it doesn't shy away from telling you what the consequence is.
That's true, but what was the consequence?
The consequence is he got years in jail and reinvented himself. But I guess that's also interesting to me because it feels like the staple of America. You can be at your bottomest bottom and still rise up again. Take, for instance, the thing that happened 2 years ago with the man with the golden voice. He was in poverty and homeless, and once he showed that voice to someone on a camera.
Well, how much time did he spend in jail?
Well, the movie says 3 years.
3 years, okay.
But I think that's a comparatively light sentence to what he should have deserved.
Well, and I think that that's what the criticism of the film is that. But then again, I don't think you can criticize the film. You have to criticize society, because that does seem to be a tap on the wrist, especially when he talks about the jail that he ends up going to.
Yeah.
Truly one of those country club establishments. But I'm like you. I want to see more of this young actress. She was also in About Time from earlier this year. She's more than just a pretty face, I think. I think she's got some talent there.
And I think Leo DiCaprio also does his best work here.
Well, I don't know if it's his best work, but there are certain people who can do no wrong.
Yeah,
and he's one of them.
And he's there. Yeah. Did you have a favorite scene in the movie?
A favorite scene that I can talk about on TV in the movie?
Go. If it's the intro, just say it's the intro.
No. It seems as though you have a favorite scene that you want to talk about.
I do, but what's yours?
Well, talk, and then I'll think. Okay?
Mine involves four words: lemon and cerebral palsy face. Has to be the funniest scene I've seen all year. And I think that's one of the ones that had the strongest reaction from the audience. What did you think of that particular scene? I was slightly offended, but I also couldn't help but laugh.
Well, from your vague description, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about, but I think you're talking about the fact that he and Jonah take some drugs that have been on the shelf for quite a long time.
Yes.
And they think that they're ineffective, so they take a bit more and don't realize that it's going to be a delayed reaction, and the reaction is quite debilitating.
And priceless.
Well, that was good, but also I like the flashback, because he says, I made it home without a scratch. I can't believe I did it. But then, of course, we see what really happened.
Yeah.
And he hardly made it home without a scratch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is the pinnacle of showing just how out of control things had gotten for him.
Yeah.
And also how he had deluded himself.
Right. So what was your favorite scene?
That would be it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you grade the film when you...
I think I gave it 3.5 out of 4.
I also gave it 3.5. I thought that there were some flaws, but it worked. The second film I want to talk about today is the new film from the person who had a cameo in The Wolf of Wall Street, and that's director Spike Jonze's Her. The film is, by and large, pretty simple. Theodore Twomley is a person who does handwritten letters for a website called handwrittenletters.com, and he does it. He does it through voice text-to-speech recognition, and he writes in the style of the person who has asked him to write the letter.
Yes, if you want to write a love letter to someone you love, you hire him to do it.
Right. And he gets a new operating system, and the new operating system is intuitive and has a personality and has feelings, and a friendship develops first between Theodore and his operating system, and then things grow to another level.
I think you should mention that...
I should mention that this is in the near future.
I think you should mention that he's trying to recover from a bad breakup.
He's also trying
very fragile.
Yeah, he's also trying to recover from a bad breakup, and he's a very lonely and isolated person because of the destruction of his relationship with someone he cares deeply about. And so he purchases this operating system, and as I said earlier, the relationship develops into something romantic. This movie is one of the biggest surprises for me of 2013, and for
Yeah, I remember when you saw the
audiences.
preview, you were ripping into it.
I was ripping into it because I thought.
Because I love how you do that without seeing a movie.
Yeah, I do that a lot, but you don't watch trailers, so I guess we're even. Basically, what ends up happening in this film, for me, what makes it work is the fact that we're discussing in this film the usage of technology and consumerism and how into people's technology people can be. You have people on their iPhones who will walk 1,000 paces and run into somebody because they're staring at a text message or a picture on Facebook. And this film shows us what happens when that trend continues and evolves further. I really like the performance by lead actor Joaquin Phoenix. Scarlett Johansson voices the OS that Theodore Twomley falls in love with, named Samantha. But it's really important for me to note here that Scarlett Johansson, even though she is the voice of Samantha, was not the original choice to voice Samantha, and that the person who did most of the legwork is an actress named Samantha Morton, and she was on set every day of the filming of her and guided Joaquin Phoenix through the process of the movie and was cut from the movie at the last minute, and Scarlett Johansson was added in post-production. And while Johansson does fine work here, I don't think it warrants an Oscar nomination. I really think that this film is about the different kind of excess that the world can seep to in terms of how they use technology and how disconnected it makes everyone else. Chuck, what did you think of her?
Yeah, the movie's all about isolation. And as you say, how we've become cut off because of technology. The interesting thing about the movie, I think, is, and I haven't seen anyone really talk about this, is even though, the lead character's capacity to feel love, to feel grief over the end of this relationship, in that society becomes a hindrance, because we're all supposed to be apparently self-contained. But in the end, it becomes a blessing for him that he can still have these feelings, which seem to have been wiped out. I mean, if you have to hire another service to express your feelings, then something has gone horribly wrong. And I think that Phoenix does a great job of tapping into that this guy is very sensitive.
Yeah.
And it is kind of a millstone around his neck when so few others can feel the way he feels.
Right. This is also his most endearing performance, I think.
Well, yeah, and that he is able to eventually find someone who is like him, I think is interesting as well. I like the whole clothing thing and the fashion thing in this near future. The clothes don't fit quite right.
Yeah, it's as if nobody cares anymore.
No one cares anymore about how you look. The hair's never right. Amy Adams is also in the film, and I mean, you see her in American Hustle, and she's a knockout, and you see her here, and she's just like a normal
lady
woman
who should live with cats.
Yeah, so yeah, I loved that it eventually gets to the point where we don't care how we look because we're not interacting anymore.
Yeah.
It's a nice cautionary tale, and of course, that being said, I still would like a game system like his.
Oh yeah,
that would be the Avatar was quite hilarious and probably the most emotive character in the film.
This is the one scene that I really want to talk about, and I know we're kind of pushing on time, but in this scene, Theodore Twomley is playing a video game, kind of an Explorer Fallout 3 type game where you're a first person and you're wandering around an area, and all of a sudden this little avatar comes on, and he says something obscene to Twomley's first-person character, and we're thinking about, well, what can you really do in this way? You're not going to punch him, fight him, or shoot him. What's going to happen? And Twomley decides to retaliate, and he forms this really odd, unlikely friendship with this avatar character while playing the game as he progresses through the levels. And it's really hilarious, because this avatar is probably the most frankly honest thing that I've seen in video games in a long time. It's hilarious, their interactions together. There's only about 2 or 3 interactions that they have in total, but it is priceless. People will not expect it when going to see this film. There are a lot of things that people won't expect that are in this film, actually. But it's actually a really encouraging experience to know that this is being put out there rather than being ignored about how much we use technology and to the excesses it could steep.
That's true, but I fear that no one is going to listen to the message.
I really think that this message is going to be doled out by, oh, the environments are pretty, and oh, this is gross that he's in love with his OS. I think that that's the message that people are going to take from the film, which I think is really horrible, seeing how many other strengths this film has. Oh, what did you give it when you reviewed it?
I gave it 4 stars.
I gave it 4 as well, because I think it's a different kind of film. It's not something we've seen before. I think that it's something that everybody needs to check out, not just once, but twice, because of the amazing little things that you can pick up on a second viewing with this film. So, with that in mind, the third film we have to talk about today also defies convention in a way that I think is interesting. This is the new Disney princess animated film, Frozen. Frozen stars Kristen Bell as Anna, a princess in what we can only assume is like Belgium, Sweden, kind of. What would you say? What's a good way to characterize? It's some sort of
a Nordic
country town is what I'm going to go with. And Anna has a sister whose name I'm not going to remember. Elsa? I think that's right.
That's right.
Elsa, voiced by the Broadway star Idina Menzel. And they're sisters in this castle. And Elsa has ice powers for a reason that's never really explained.
She's been cursed.
At all. Cursed or given to them by birth somehow. When they're kids, Elsa enjoys, the benefit of her ice powers with her sister. But then something happens, and the whole relationship between Elsa and Anna changes. And I should mention that this is a Disney musical film, which is not new because they brought this back with Tangled, and before that, Princess and the Frog. And basically, after that relationship changes, Elsa grows withdrawn because an accident occurs where her ice powers are revealed. They've been kept in asylum and secret from the town for as long as Elsa can remember after being split from her sister. So an event occurs where her ice powers are shown, and she runs away in fear of endangering anyone or being disliked. And Anna goes on a journey to find her older sister. I thought they were twins at first, but Elsa is actually older. Along that journey, Anna meets an ice guy. What I can't.
Oh, he's an ice merchant. Yeah.
Ice merchant named Hans. And his reindeer named Sven. And basically asked them to take her up to a mountain where she knows her sister is hiding. How she knows that is beyond me. That's another thing that really isn't explained. She just runs away, and
She made a castle on top of the mountain that everyone could see.
But I didn't know that they could see it.
It's huge.
Okay.
How could you miss it?
All right. So then Anna meets Olaf, a snowman that Anna and Elsa built as kids. They, for some reason, can now talk. We're not given a reason for that either, but that doesn't matter. They go on this beautiful little adventure to find Elsa, and that's the story as much as I will be willing to give away at this moment. I love this movie about as much as I love the original Disney classics. This one is not better than The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast or The Little Mermaid. It's where Hercules sits. It's even with Hercules.
So wait a second. You're saying Hercules is better than The Lion King?
No, it's below The Lion King.
Okay.
So, it sits where Hercules sits, below The Lion King and below Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
Having said that, The voice cast is spectacular. I think the reason we're laughing is because we love Josh Gad in this film
Frickin' hilarious.
as Olaf the Snowman. And I'm going to just spoil this a little bit. There's a song that Olaf sings about summer, and it's hysterical. There are nods to Mary Poppins in this song that Olaf sings, and it's pretty much hysterical. Anything that Olaf does, you want to see more of. And he's criminally underused in the movie, but
agree.
highly overused in the trailers and teasers for this film, which is ironic. Same with Spin, actually. They're both criminally underused in the movie and highly overused in the teasers. I think this isn't going to be a Disney classic, but it's right there. It's so close. They defy conventions in really interesting ways.
How?
Well, how what?
How do they defy conventions?
The ending. The ending and the other twist that occurs in the film. Nobody can expect that. Everybody's expecting this fairy tale to go one way, and they say, nope, it's not this. This isn't what?
I don't know what you're talking about. They live happily ever after.
They do live happily ever after, but not in the conventional sense. That's what I'm saying to you.
How? What's the twist? I don't get where you're going with this twist thing.
All right, audience, if you
The girl ends up with the guy. The reindeer's happy. The snowman's happy. What's the twist?
The twist of what we think the ending is supposed to be versus
what was
it
the ending
is.
supposed to be? They all die?
Okay, audience, if you're going to go see
Hang
Frozen,
on, audience, because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, explain this to me.
audience, if you're going to see Frozen, there are spoilers forthcoming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What I'm talking about is the fact that Anna is expected to fall in love with the prince and be happily ever after because he is supposed to stop the curse of her heart being hit with ice when she meets Elsa in the castle. Mm-hmm. That is not true. That does not happen. Mm-hmm. That's twist number 1.
Okay.
Twist number 2, audience, again, spoilers, is the fact that we have Elsa thinking, oh, Hans, the guy that I've been with this whole time, who actually does love me, is supposed to break this curse. Not true. Mm-hmm. In reality, that does not happen.
Okay.
It goes a different way. And
which way does it go?
Since we're spoiling it, Elsa saves Anna.
Uh-huh.
And how that happens is very Disney.
So this runs against convention.
This runs against convention
because Disney has never had powerful or independent female characters in their animated films?
They've always shortchanged them, in my opinion, yes.
Okay.
Chuck, what did you think of the film?
I love the movie.
Okay, can you talk about why now, please?
Because it was funny.
You're being vague.
Oh, I'm being vague. I'm being vague now. Okay. Well, not only was it was beautiful to look at, of course. I mean,
yeah.
It really does harken back to the best of
the Mencken era.
The visual ones that came there in the 90s and early 2000s. Just a gorgeous film to look at. But I also like the fact that it's more serious.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about how the snowman and the reindeer are used in the commercials, and then that's, of course, to get the kids involved and get them interested in. So it was pleasant to realize that there were more adult concerns going on here, and that we don't get the snowman until about 45 minutes into the film. Mm-hmm. I mean, and even though you say he's underused, I kind of like that fact.
Oh, yeah.
I would not have liked it had he overstayed his welcome. So I think a little goes a long way with him. But it's just a more serious film than I had anticipated. And I think that's why I liked it so much. The thing I always tell people about movies that they're going to have to take their kids to is, if I haven't fallen asleep while I'm watching it,
it's a good movie.
And I'm not checking my, then there's something going on here. And I was completely swept away by it. I thought it was great.
I have to say, Disney Animated Studios is outdoing Pixar at this point, in my opinion, in terms of the product that they're being able to produce. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that within the first, literally 10 minutes, we're dealt with two blows that I automatically feel when I saw this movie for the first time. I saw it multiple times. And those two blows involve something that happens with Elsa and Anna. That was blow number one that I should have seen coming but didn't. And blow number two is what happens after that point when her parents go away on a trip.
Yeah.
Did not see those coming.
I did not see the second one coming.
Those were immediate shocks to me, and I thought, oh, well, I'm invested now. Whatever happens, I'm in it. And that's one of the interesting things about these new Disney animated studio films is that they're able to grab me just a bit more than Pixar is now. Mm-hmm. They make these moments that have more weight than what Pixar does. As much as I like Monsters University, it didn't have that same grabbing pull for me. It's still a really good animated film, mm-hmm. but you know, it doesn't have that thing that will make me go, wow, this is worth watching again. And I think Frozen has that quality as well as the other two films we've discussed today, in the sense that all of them have something unique and different in a storytelling sense that makes them worth watching. For Wolf of Wall Street, it's the excess and chaos that comes from the rise and fall of being a stockbroker and a stockbroker president. For her, it's how relationships are relentlessly important to human existence, and how the relationships with those closest to us will keep us going more so than the tenuous relationships we form with either ROSs or in real life online with other people.
There we go.
And for Frozen, instead of telling us how tenuous a relationship is between two sisters, it's telling us how to care for one another and be mindful of those we meet in terms of how to make those little moments we have with everyone matter. Mm-hmm. I think that's what Frozen teaches us. And I think those are three very strong films from 2013 and unfortunately for her, 2014, that really showcase how storytelling may slightly be, at least for the moment, on the up and up mm-hmm. in the cinematic world. I know you and I have seen countless other films, but these are the three I've chosen for right now. Instead of having our top 10 list next week, we will have it during Oscar week so that we can tell you what films from 2013 we think are not only Oscar contenders, but for us, the best films of the year. We will not be on the air next week, but we will come back the following week with another list of movies to talk about. And so with that, I'm going to ask Chuck. Chuck, do you have any other things that you think people should see this week?
No.
I think that people should definitely see Her while it's here. Mm-hmm. Inside Llewellyn Davis is going to be at the Art Theater, and that should be worth checking out. As well as later on in next week, A Clockwork Orange will be appearing at the Art Theater, and that's something that people should check out. Other than that, I have nothing else. So until next time, I'm Chike Coleman. That's Chuck Koplinski. We will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.